Hey there everyone, and welcome back to Corey Loses, where today we're going to be continuing our Thrawn's Revenge Imperial Civil War 2.2 preview playthrough as the Imperial Remnant. In the last episode, I asked you guys whether we should go after the after the Pentastar alignment or the Greater Maldrude, and most of you seem to vote for the Pentastar alignment, so we're going to focus over here if we can. I would like to go up along the western edge as much as we can, just so that when Zinj ultimately does start coming this way, he'll be fighting the PA forces as opposed to our own. So I think we're going to try to go for Yagamier. Actually, well, let's go for Ordmanir first. In principle, I would like to do that thing I just said, but this will be an easier one to take, and we're still separated from Zinj, because I really just want to save up some time to get some of these more defended planets scouted out. So let's do that. I also want to check a few other things here. So one thing that actually did come up in the comments is someone had noticed that some of the patron units were showing up in Zinj's fleet, and I realized that's because they're variants of the generic types of the Star Destroyers, and in the last few versions, or the last few Let's Plays, they've actually been all the Imperial Star Destroyers used by all the different factions are actually coded as one unit, and that's available to everything, and then a separate script does all the differences. So stuff like the fighter squadrons that spawn differently between each faction, that's handled by a Lewis script instead of in the unit code itself directly. So because when I made the variants, which are how the patron units work, I'm definitely going to do a tutorial on how to make the named variants. But anyways, since they're just variants and I didn't put the affiliation tag, it's just taking the affiliation tag directly from the basic Star Destroyer, which means they're available to everyone. So theoretically, any of the other Warlord factions, so Zinj, Ariadu, the Pentastar alignment, and the Greater Maldrude, will if they have access to the basic unit, they'll have access to the patron units that are built off of that. So we're gonna have to destroy a lot of traitors, is how that's gonna go. Okay, you guys need to get out of here because you are going to come across some issues. There was one of the larger issues. I think I might have talked about this last time. One of the larger issues that had come up in the beta so far is just that there can be issues when retreating from a raid fleet battle. So hopefully that doesn't come up during the playthrough. We'll be able to work on it, obviously, to fix it for the actual build, but just to make life easier when we're doing the playthrough here. And also, one of the things that I think I mentioned this in the last battle, or in the last episode as well, is that the AI can actually use the single unit retreat ability. We were talking about whether or not that would be the case before, and we were thinking it wouldn't, just because a lot of the different behaviors for when it would use the ability that it's built off of didn't quite line up with when you'd want to use single unit retreat, but now they sort of do. So the AI doesn't use it all the time like they were initially, so we'll probably leave it how it is, and then we can work on some different behaviors to make that a bit more reasonable in the future. But hopefully everything should work out all right, and right now it doesn't seem to be much of an issue. You guys can probably see how it works from some of the videos here, but let's try to get in position to take out these battle dragons, and we can go in behind them as well. So
navigating to coordinates. Flank speed. Move out.
Nothing we have left is super good against fighters. TIE defenders are pretty weak right now, so they won't be as helpful. Okay, this could be an issue. Let's see if it happens.
The ion cannons are our primary target. Moving to coordinates.
Interceptor squad reporting.
Star Destroyer standing.
Nope. Seem to be okay.
Destination.
Alright. Let's just see if there's a few other free planets, I think. Telfaglio is, I believe, one of them. I initially thought it would be connected to Commodore, but I don't believe that's actually the case. I feel like Duro and Chardon should be connected, and maybe even Telfaglio and Commodore. But nope, we're good. Let's get you over here.
Beginning construction.
So nothing really that we need over there. We can turn this into a production planet. So we'll just get that up to a heavy vehicle factory. We can disregard that. Corellia, do you have any HV guns? I kind of want to turn Corellia into that. Is that CFs or CEC?
Construction complete.
No, it's a Lorinar branch. Okay.
Construction complete.
Vandermeer. Yeah, see, you can... That's a regular victory. So that's a victory 2s. Then you have Showdown, 2.3 Wen, Oblivion, Indefatigable, Solemn Vow, and Galactic Fried Chicken have decided to turn against us.
Star Destroyer reporting in.
You have those things there. Hold on. Are there No, there's no HV guns. I kind of want to fight Zinj when we have an HV gun. Or I really want to fight Zinj when we have HV guns. So I guess we'll have to just wait for the next tick over. And we'll use all this money on Mercure.
We shall be there
I don't like having to use our fleet that we could be using to destroy the PA against... if we can kill Gethzerian, that wouldn't be too bad for us. What's the map here? I think it's the Commodore one? Yeah. You know what? Yeah, let's do this. Some of their force compositions are still not ideal. The AIs, that is, where they don't seem to get the right kinds of infantry or the right spreads of infantry. So that'll be something that we probably end up working on more as we go here. Is that kind of thing? It's always going to depend more on how the rest of stuff goes, because there's some stuff where we sort of just understand that it's going to be a thing where there's certain stuff that's going to have to be done the following release, because we want everything to be as good as possible, but that also means trying to prioritize between releases, because like the worst thing that can happen is that people have to play the last release, the previous release, forever, because we keep, like, there's always going to be something to improve or something to change, and you kind of got to find a balance between, like, when is the extra time people playing an old version balanced out by the amount of good you're going to get from focusing on more change to the same thing as you're going, if that makes any sense.
Yes, sir.
I think you get what I'm saying. You specifically. Yes, you.
Advancing.
I hope they don't destroy our... They're not going after it. But that's something that we've started having to come up against, or we started having to come up against with 2.2 versus 2.3 towards the end of last year, where it's like, okay, well, unit diversity between the warlords is important, but at what point is it more important to start cutting some individual units that we can then put back in later versus... ooh, you guys are going down this way. So let's actually send this.
On my way.
Versus getting the actual features out and the build out. And... I don't... Is this a 5 slot? I think that's a 5 slot. So I'm not sure if that's not going to be enough for them. But anyways, versus the... getting the functionality out versus getting as many units as you'd like out. And that's why there's some Warlord factions that end up being a bit more similar in 2.2 than we initially planned. Like the Errata Authority had 2 or 3 units that were cut, which is a pretty big deal considering how many units are ultimately in the game.
Let's move out.
If you assume like 20 as the standard. How many did you bring of these things? Why did you bring so many? That's just dumb. Oh god.
Affirmative.
Fire.
These aren't even Zinja's units.
Keep going. This way. Over there.
It's kind of a messy place for them because they're all trying to attack this, but they're not coming around the edge, which they should. Hold on, is this treated as a river? Yeah, this path is not good. Here we go.
Scouting.
Well, I guess if that's a river, yeah, they're trying to slide up that way.
On my way.
This should probably all be a road rather than the river. At least coming up to here and then block it off that way.
Scanning area. On the move.
Okay, they're starting to make their way downtown.
Scanning the area.
Moving to
Watching for the
secondary
enemy.
position.
Reporting
Base
in.
is under attack. We are victorious.
Yeah, they wasted all their pop cap on the
Construction complete.
Raptors there. I really wish it more obvious where they were getting these
Building
ideas from.
started. Beginning construction.
But the AI is one of the things that's going to change a lot more in 2.3 as opposed to 2.2. We've started making some changes, like one of the bigger ones is the fact that the stuff doesn't just sit on the stations. That's still a change that we've got to make on the ground, where they're still using the defend structure on the ground behaviors a lot more than is ideal for them. But if Zinj comes into there, what's our best bet going to be? You know what? Let's get back here to Coruscant. Let's try to get
Constructing unit.
we'll get Angry Parents and we'll get Fighter
Unit in
Superiority. No,
production.
that's all TIE Interceptors, I believe. So I'd like to get
Constructing.
I can't remember which ones had more bombers than fighters, because we really do need
Right
more
away.
bombers. I didn't look at that. Right, let's get you back in there.
Construction complete.
And which map are you? Alright, this is the one with the base off to the right. I think we'll be able to handle this. But yeah, so the main thing that needs to be done as far as content goes that's being added to the beta right now, there's some Galactic Conquest scenarios that we're still finishing off. Once I'm done with that,
Reporting in.
then I'm going to be able to focus a bit more on getting the bugs done faster, and then we'll be able to work on some of the stuff that would have otherwise been held off for 2.3. So additional AI changes and all that.
Moving out. Advancing.
And then one of the things we kind of have to decide internally is how we're going to handle release structures after this, whether we want to go for like mod database and Steam Workshop getting the same thing all the time, or if we can do like
Construction complete.
regular builds how we would have in the past on mod database, but then Steam Workshop getting more updates as we go through, so we can address some of the other issues, get them tested as we're going in that way, because we're going to have a larger internal testing team. That's definitely going to be a thing. But one of the good things about the Steam Workshop is that you can make these extra changes and you can push them to everyone with the mod right away, whereas on mod database, if you want to do that, you either have to upload it as a patch, which a lot of people don't quite understand how to install them at that point, because you're just making the installation process more difficult for people, or you have to upload a new build whenever you want people to have that new build. So in that way, it makes more sense to like leave mod database, give them like major patches if necessary, but have the Steam Workshop version just update as you do certain things. But then you get people who will be like, okay, well, why is this version getting preferential treatment essentially, when well, technically it's available to everyone, but I do kind of get that where like some people will be obviously on the GOG or the disc version that wouldn't be able to use the Steam Workshop, and then they'd kind of feel left out. But at the same time, it's not like the alternative is them getting the same thing every time, because like I explained with the patch version, it becomes too much of a mess for most people, or for a lot of people to understand how it works properly. So it's basically like, is it worth doing the additional updates for Steam Workshop versus staying normally for everyone?
Yes, Commander. Right away.
You guys should be okay over here.
Attack that target.
Work order acknowledged.
Attacking target.
We'll back you up.
All right.
Reporting. Changing course.
We'll cover you.
So they definitely got a power generator. I don't remember if they, or we didn't check if they had the
Yes, Commander.
turbo lasers built here. So what I will do,
Moving to that area, sir.
Ready.
we'll start
Acknowledged.
going over this
Providing
way.
Covering fire. Yes, sir. Right away.
Providing
Moving
backup.
out. AT-AT ready.
Order, sir. Turret constructing.
Armor transport ready.
I'm probably way less coherent than usual, but I started getting sick, so
Destination set.
I don't know if that's
Reporting. Heading out.
and like cold medication have done anything to me, but
Target.
I'm just gonna hope everything I'm saying is making sense
Constructing.
and
Form up. On my way.
refrain from watching this while editing, so I feel better about it until someone points out whatever makes no sense in the comments. So I'll live in blissful ignorance for a few hours.
Ready for your orders,
But it
sir.
looks like we're doing okay here. So there's no turbo lasers, it's just going to be standard base.
Awaiting
You guys can
orders.
start going up this way. They just have that.
Cover you.
Yeah,
More ready.
these guys.
Commencing attack. Weapons armed.
Here we go.
Time order. Copy. I copy.
But the thing is, or one of the many things are, are that
All out troops.
a lot of the work that's been going on over the last little while has been less immediately obvious because it's work on specific Galactic Conquest scenarios.
Walker moving
Like
out.
the air system that we're working with in this build of the mod is very different from even what was in the Art of War playthrough that we had, which obviously didn't work very well. And hopefully this one works better for us in this playthrough. But there were a lot of changes sort of under the hood that went into making all this work that took a lot more time than you'd expect. So the kind of stuff that's a lot more immediately obvious to people, so like the specific balancing changes, AI changes like that, that's the kind of stuff that
Move out.
is what we're going to be working on for the next month and a half or so until release, or possibly less than
Roger
that,
that.
but
Yes, sir.
the next little while either way.
If you wish, General. Target
So hopefully that'll start becoming a bit more obvious as we go through the playthrough as well. Some of the different changes there. I'll try to point them out when they come up. And so far, the save has cooperated with the with the changes that I've made to the files. So far, still working off the main repository, so nothing's crashing. But I'm glad the. Okay, so we've got Orbineer. I think the right move after this is probably still to go for Yaga Minor instead of Ord Trassi. I just wanted to make sure we could see with our probe droids what was going on. Okay, you guys need to actually get a little closer. There we go. What's going on with that? That's been a problem for a while where these leg joints would mess up. And I don't think it was a problem in the base game. There's got to be some change in the mod that made it become an issue, but I've never been sure quite what it is. I've also never looked that hard for it, but something that I'm going to have to check out. Okay, so they actually didn't leave much there. So let's go on over here. We've got Grant there. I don't know that they have many units left.
Construction command.
Because I'm not sure what actually went into their fights with Warlord Zinj. So hopefully nothing too dangerous. Okay, well they abandoned those at Bandamir. You know what? Let's
Heading out.
Tactical battle imminent.
I was gonna say let's end some traitors, but they've decided they wanted to leave. I guess because of the failed base assault there, they will hopefully move on to Maldrude. I want them to kill Maldrude. I do kind of think going in Maldrude from the south, might be a good idea for us if we can build up some extra forces down there. But I don't want to distract too much. Like, we've got the three main fleets now, and I think we're going to keep building them up into the three fleets that we're going to stick with. Like the one that we've got here at Yaga Minor. We've got the one at Well, I think we just moved in near it's at Merkur now, and there's sort of a bit of a fleet down the planet that's is it Gashik? That's connected to Thanos or Tagoria, but down there, just south of Maldred, the one entrance to Maldred that we have. So
Choose your reinforcements.
I'm thinking if we can build those up into our main fleets late game, that'll be good. Like we can have one fleet have
Moving to coordinates. Star
our
Destroyer
executor when we
reporting
build it, our sovereign when we build it,
Yes,
and then the last one will be
attacking.
whichever is our
in. Targeting.
leader at the time. So Lusankia or the Eclipse or Chimera.
Engaging the enemy.
Getting a lock.
Alright.
Being targeted.
Choose your reinforcements.
Order confirmed.
Understood.
Reinforcements
Scopes
cancelled.
are jammed.
Helm ahead full.
Losing power.
Increase the flank.
Closing on target. Coming back around for another run.
Let's get Spartan's Pride in here. This fleet doesn't have very many patron units in it, so we'll probably have to move some more in here.
Narrowing position.
Attack commencing.
But
Getting a lock.
the other one over Merc here does.
Pursuing enemy forces.
Awaiting your
We haven't been able to build any of the patron
Commander.
The enemy.
Traitor 2s yet, but we will be getting that. It's going to be a long playthrough, so
Watch it.
don't worry if your
Returning to your
number hasn't been called quite yet.
Cover me now. Target locked.
your command, sir.
And I am going to start, I think... Okay, so they did retreat some out there.
Take out the iron.
This is what I was talking about. There's a bit of confusion in the comments, so I'll explain what I was talking about again. Where the garrison units from the station, they're still the regular units that you'd build. So they still have all the regular abilities, which means some of them have single unit retreat, which the AI can use as well, which you just saw. And the problem with that is that when you're playing with a star base or anything that has a garrison that sends in the garrison units, if you use the single unit retreat on those, the Pentastar alignment now has that Vindicator on the Galactic, or Enforcer I think it is, on the Galactic level. And that's what I was talking about removing. I wasn't talking about, I didn't necessarily mean removing the garrisons entirely, just removing those abilities from the garrisons, so they're not, you're not just going to be able to get free units out of that.
Fire at will. Reporting in.
Okay, you're leaving.
Reporting in. Bombers at the ready.
I think we lost our escort carrier there. Was that Ace of
Roger
Hearts?
that.
I think that was. Yeah, I'm gonna have to rebuild that. Alright. So Ace. Oh, Wistrel doesn't have anything
Building
there.
under construction.
You don't have much money here.
Building
Let's just get it
canceled.
back.
Vehicle
Nope,
in
that's the regular
production.
one. There we go. And get you up here.
Destination set.
Which map does Yaga use? Okay, that one. Did we get to... Yeah, we got to Bandamir. You know what? If we're gonna do this,
Constructing.
there's gonna be HV guns everywhere. It would be nice to get Mandalore. So Mandalore is probably where we're gonna
Enemy fleet
we'll put
approaching.
what's it called? Joseph Grunger? Uh-oh.
Coming around.
Construction complete.
I don't trust that. Well, is that Zinger Maldrud that's gonna be doing that? Okay. 2, 11, you know what? 13 of those. 9 VSDs, 4 ISDs, like 10 VSTs. I think we can take a shot at Zinj there.
Heading to destination.
Tactical battle imminent.
These traders need to pay. Of course, I could just lose our entire fleet here too, which, you know. I'd say we can rebuild it, but we don't have the funds.
Choose your
Alright, let's go... Oh,
Carrick commander here.
okay.
Carrick en route.
I wanted to stay in this little cubby hole here, but let's get up here.
Moving to sector.
Enemy unit sighted.
Carrick en
They're
route.
gonna come for us.
Choose your
And
reinforcements.
Moving out.
let's start jumping in here. So, not sure who that is.
Heading out.
We'll build a line here. I'm gonna have to turn all our stuff a little bit. So
Let's move out.
let's get Final Stand, Revenge of the Empire, Stout-Hearted. We're gonna have some doppelgangers in this
Let's move
battle.
out.
It's Treason,
go.
then Oblivion,
Navigating to coordinates.
and Last Resort. We can jump in some of the rests as we go here.
Awaiting your command.
So who do we got? We got Solemn
Your
Vow,
command, sir.
Indefatigable, Donager,
Reporting in.
Peregrine's Nest, and there we go.
Sir.
Roger that. Form up.
Ready to take care of this, sir. Getting a lock. Course set.
A lot of little frigates coming at us.
Destroyer here.
Enemies in range.
Oh, more Hapens.
I have them now. I'm on them. Target locked. Eliminating.
All right.
Copy.
Draw their fire.
Engaging the enemy.
Attack formation.
I copy. We're moving out. Reporting.
Target critical.
Star Destroyer standing by. Awaiting command.
We'll go after them. He's about to be destroyed. Taking fire. Engines are malfunctioning.
All right. You can come down a little bit. I'm very concerned about these little ships.
Engaging the enemy.
We can afford to bring in some other stuff.
Targeted.
They're kind of splitting off.
Shields are down.
Peregrine's Nest is going for their buddies.
Primary engine system is down.
Indefatigable is also going down here.
The lasers are our target.
He's coming around.
Flank speed.
Returning to your position. He's headed your direction. Back up. Move in.
Awaiting orders.
Now in position. Enemies in
Attack.
range.
Awaiting your orders.
Scopes are jammed.
Our target priority is the laser.
Yeah, we're gonna lose a lot of ships here, but I'm not. Like, this is really only good for Maldrude. We're not gonna be invading Zin, so I don't care about destroying his stuff.
Shields almost gone. Eliminating target. Nowhere to go. Getting a lock.
Our shields are down. Our
Oh.
engines are gone. Your command, sir. Open fire.
All right,
Ready for
still getting somewhere.
navigating to coordinates.
The ones without markings are ours. The ones with the brown markings are Zin. So at least we can sort of tell what's going on.
Reporting in. Attack that target.
Cover me now. Intercepting.
I think we're gonna have to go for the My Tills
Intercept.
because they're not My Tills, they're your Tills. And we can start jumping in some stuff actually behind them. We can get a couple strike cruisers in here.
Is gone.
At maximum use capacity.
Nowhere to
Our turbo laser batteries have been disabled. The watchman is gone.
We're being targeted.
So we'll take down Peregrine's Nest like that. You know what? Let's take down some of these Nova Cruisers.
Destroyed. We've lost the iron band.
Engines are malfunctioning. My scopes are jammed. He won't be around much longer. Target critical.
And that Battle Dragon's gonna go down with a little bit of focus fire.
Roger that. The lasers are our target.
Oh, there's Demonic down there.
Shields almost gone. Go after the stragglers. He's about to be
The
destroyed.
shields aren't holding. Our primary engine system is
Headed your
down.
direction. Nowhere to go.
Our shields are down.
Position.
Gun crews make
Go
ready.
for those guys. We actually lost a lot of our ships there. This is just a VSD-1.
Moving to sector.
At maximum unit capacity.
I've been focusing down here, but
Form up. We've lost our turbo laser here. Move out.
Adamant and other Adamant, it looks like. Callisto.
Copy. Attack.
I like that name.
Unable to shake them. My scopes are jammed.
Reporting.
Attack formation. Fire. Where are the others? Go after the stragglers. Shields almost gone.
Ready for duty. I copy.
Watch for enemy ships.
Fire at will. Attacking.
Go after them.
I don't think this was worth it. I really don't.
Reporting.
Regroup. I'm hit. I've been hit. We're being targeted. I'm on.
I mean, it's not even over yet, but the Hapens are gone, if nothing
Star
else.
Destroyer standing by. Fire.
Hopefully that isn't the bug.
Our engines are gone, sir. Engaging the enemy. Our launch bay has been destroyed.
Reporting.
Okay. Okay, that one's our. I really thought that was gonna be there.
The iron cannons are offline.
Falling out of formation. Shields almost gone.
I got one.
Cover me
Come
now.
about. Charge laser cannons. Come about.
Target at maximum
Choose your
firepower.
reinforcements.
The launch
Get some
bay
of our
is
last
Moving to sector.
Carracks in here. Seems like a lot of what they have left are just the
We've lost the
CR90s. Bixby.
Star Destroyer reporting in.
All those CR90s gave them such an advantage with fighters. Okay, we kind of need to stop getting our stuff split off here. Because these guys are all hurting.
Attack position.
Okay, go after that. Yeah, this was super not worth it. I really should have just jumped these guys up higher.
Our shields are
Because then
down.
I figured we could go after some of the stragglers with them, but we weren't winning the main battle hard
Our
enough.
launch bay has been
So we lost pretty much
destroyed.
everything.
Come about.
The launch bay is gone.
Charge laser cannons. Come about. Charge laser.
I'm starting to think we need Lusankia.
The shields aren't holding. Our turbo laser batteries have been disabled.
No,
Our engines are gone.
I'm still
sir.
kind of torn. Do I want Lusankia and the Grand Admirals? Or I think we might still be better off getting
Pressing the attack. Flank speed.
the discount from Sate Pestage a little bit longer.
Awaiting orders.
You guys are in rough shape.
Target those lasers.
What are your orders?
Everyone's in rough shape in this battle. This guy's gone though.
Copy.
Can you sort of
Coming
float
about.
back there?
Station.
Think they'll let you?
Increase power to weapons.
We've lost the shield generator.
Charge laser cannons.
Our lasers are down. I copy.
These guys are just gonna get picked off.
Awaiting
We
instructions.
still have engines, so that's nice.
We've lost our turbo lasers. Our turbo laser batteries
Alright.
have been disabled.
Try to get up there,
Laser cannons.
Our primary
draw some
engine
fire.
system
No,
is
they're all
down.
gone.
Yes,
No, you
Commander.
can stay. You're the only one that lived.
Attacking. Come about.
Fire for maximum effect.
Okay, just take that out as fast as you can.
Charge laser cannons. Attacking. Come about. Charge laser cannons.
Maybe we can get them to retreat. It's just so hard to hit some of these smaller guys.
Come about.
Okay, this one's closer. What are the recharge rates on this guy? Okay, leave us alone. If nothing else, this will hopefully dissuade them from going after, dissuade Zinj from going after some of our territory while we're dealing with the PA. So that's nice. Uh-oh. Don't notice the VST here. Don't notice Achilles.
Carrot commander here.
We are victorious.
All right, lived with 12%. This is just not okay. Ugh, that's not good. Okay, hold on. What do we actually have at Kashyyyk? Yeah, it is Kashyyyk. That's the other Peregrine's Nest. Okay, so at least we know. Let's get
Construction.
you guys
Order acknowledged.
up here. You guys up here.
Construction complete.
Um, let's check that. Let's check that. Check Munilins as well. As soon as we get Munilins, we're gonna want to put a couple of our mines onto Munilins. Get you in here, and then I think we can go in.
Coordinates.
Edmir. Okay, we're building that up. The text there. Is this supposed to be an event?
Construction complete.
Alright, we actually have a fair amount of money right now, so let's hold on. Kuat, did we get KDY already? We did. So let's actually grab Battlestar
Vehicle in
Galactica.
production.
Let's get Donager.
In production.
Have we? I don't think we've used Bellum
Unit in
Totalis yet.
production.
I'm gonna try to get everything back, but I'm gonna try to use whatever's been used less, a bit more. Okay. We'll go into Yaga Minor here. And
Invasion commencing.
that'll be it. Okay, we can take out Saris.
Look, sir,
Saris.
it's them. Ready.
Who's them?
Fallout troops.
What do you mean, you people?
Yes, sir. Roger. Let's move out.
Sensor node constructing.
Reporting in.
Our base is under attack.
It's not really our base, it's the homes of people loyal to us, which, well,
Construction
still nice.
complete.
Not really the same thing.
Roger that.
Okay,
Choose your reinforcements.
On my way. On my way, sir.
AT-ATs.
Destination set. Can I help?
No, don't draw attention to yourselves, just get down here.
Ready.
Even better, you guys get over here.
Roger that. Scouting area. Ready. Fallout troops. We'll assist you.
One of the things that started a little bit in this build, but is likely not going to be done entirely for this build, or definitely isn't going to... Well, they're dead. Definitely isn't going to be entirely done for this build, is Knickers has been going through and changing some of the textures that are used on ground maps. So not like going and redoing the maps themselves, but swapping out the actual texture files.
Following your lead. Armored transport ready.
So some of them should start looking a little bit better than they did before.
I copy. Reporting in.
One of the things we would like to do, given enough time,
Acquired.
is changing a lot of those textures entirely, and changing, redoing a lot of the prop models, which we have to make sure that it's not changed too much, so that, okay, Saris is dead, so that it's not so different that that the props as they're placed are no longer
Moving to attack.
the same,
At maximum
but just enough that it looks better
reporting.
without giving up any of the actual map quality.
Roger that. Form up. Awaiting your orders. This way.
Okay, let's get you in here.
Acknowledged. Form up.
Secure the landing zone.
I copy.
And let's heal up the AT-AT.
Constructing. Choose your reinforcements.
And drop some stormtroopers in here.
Setting course. Moving out. Awaiting orders. Let's go.
Sensor node constructing. Construction complete.
Yes, sir. Commencing bombing run.
Close enough. Alright, so this group of people should be enough to come up here.
Keep going.
You're mostly healed up.
Reporting.
You can go into the main base that way.
behind you.
And I guess we'll drop more stormtroopers.
Unit capacity.
Yes, sir. Fall out. Prepare to assist. Copy. They're in my sight. Avoiding fire. I copy. Yes, Commander. Ready. Enemy spotted. Following your lead. Concentrating firepower.
We've secured a landing zone.
Proceeding to target. Reporting. In attack
Nope,
position.
get in there. Don't worry about the stuff that's not actually able to shoot you. I don't care about the turrets.
Open fire.
I know there's a bunch of stormtroopers sitting in front of you, and that makes that difficult, but...
That target. Yes, Commander. On my way, sir. On my way. Copy. Keep going. Yes, sir.
Right, now go after this.
Affirmative. Report.
Ute.
Walker moving out. Yes, Commander. Roll out. Yes, Commander.
And, well,
Cannons
that's
charged.
nothing anymore.
Ready for your orders, sir. Fire at will. Attacking. There they are. Blast them.
What do we got? Is that another bunker? Yes, it is.
Deploying.
Proceeding.
But we've got a bombing run coming in.
Run available.
Firing. Can I assist you? Will do.
If it was coming the other direction, that would have killed them all.
Battalion standing by. I've got them on scopes. Spreading out. Scanning for enemies. Moving out.
The enemy has been
Hey. Okay. Killed Saris, took Yaga Minor,
System
lost our entire eastern fleet. So when I said that they were going to be the basis
building
of
under construction.
what we have, that was clearly a lie. But next episode we should be able to go for Moonlinst. Absolutely. So we'll be able to go for Moonlinst and maybe Intrala. And then we'll definitely want to put some tax collection, or yeah, tax agencies on Mutalist, and we'll start. We should be able to go within the next 2 episodes into Era, or the second part of Era 1, because we're starting to make a decent amount of money. We'll have to replenish this fleet a little bit, a lot, and the ships we're building here, so Battlestar Galactica and Balm Totalis, we can send up along with Hitman, Angry Parents, and Firaxin. So that is going to do it for today's episode. So thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you're enjoying the playthrough so far. And our next episode will be on Friday. So this is generally going to be Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday for this series. So again, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.